guys, if you're following my fusion plan, you should be starting to farm Ice Golem today. What's up, guys? I am Felra, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, here to bring you the team that I am going to be using to farm Ice Golem. Now, it's a very interesting strategy because you should not be using HP burn to farm this boss. Instead, you should be using poisons, guys. Now, poisons are one of the most underrated debuffs in the game, in my opinion. We've got very fantastic poisoners like Bot El Khazar, placing 2 poisons here on the A3, and poison deals 5% max HP damage every single turn, right? So theoretically, you can get enough poisons to kill the boss or whatever else it is that you're trying to do. You also can run a debuff extender like we do, like Corvus, to get those duration of the poisons increased as long as possible, that kind of thing. But guys, why is poison so important when facing the Ice Golem? Hold up! Click the link in the description below right now to get a free legendary champion, Bambus 4-leaf, as well as one amazing free epic as you level up. Here are the exact steps you need to follow. 1. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC. If you've never had Raid installed on your mobile phone before, the link will work there too. 2. Click the link in the description and start a brand new Raid Shadow Legends account with a brand new email. 3. Launch Raid and complete your tutorial. 4. You can find Bambus 4-leaf here as well as Ugo at level 15. This is an amazing account start in Raid Shadow Legends, so be sure to use my link in the description below right now. Well, if we come into our battle here and we take a look at some of our dungeons, man, the game is being very, very slow today. Apologies to that. Don't know what's going on here. We have lots of spinning balls of death. Okay, we've got 2x cursed. That's good. More spinning balls of death. All right, you should be farming stage 20. And the reason that you should be farming stage 20 is because the hard stages take an insanely long amount of time. I know it says 12 seconds here. That's more like 12 minutes. But stage 10 can basically take you like hours. Depending on what kind of strategy you're running, there is no fast farm for Ice Golem hard, but there is a fast farm, or a decently fast farm, for Ice Golem normal, and normal 20 will give you the best rate of gear to energy. So if we take a look at the team that we are going to be running, it's going to be Elva in the lead, Bot El Khazar, Corvus the Corrupted, Noct the Paralyzer, and Venomage. Now, each of these champions is super important, although you could probably substitute Bot El Khazar for like a Stock the Broken or some other poison activator. Incidentally, there are epic replacements both for Bot El Khazar and Corvus the Corrupted, which I will be showing you later on in the video. But let's take a look at what each of these champions does, guys. So if our Venomage here is going to be, well, you know what, let me put on the poison filter. Let me put on the poison filter, guys. Oh, well, we can see our Venomage. Okay, so Venomage here coming in with the poisons, 2 poisons and a heal reduction on an AoE on the A3. Of course, drop defense and decrease attack if the target is under poison. And then she has poison activation on the A1, which is really nice. Now, outside of her poisons, the other thing she's bringing to the team is this passive. Enemies under heal reduction debuffs inflict 15% less damage. And the reason that that is so important is because the boss, every time his HP drops below a certain threshold here, will activate the Frigid Vengeance passive, which attacks all enemies one time whenever his HP drops below 80%, 60%, 45%, 30%, and 15%, revives any dead allies to 100% HP, ignores 50% of each enemy's defense for each alive ally. This attack also has a 20% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. The chance of placing a freeze debuff increases by 40% for each alive ally. So in order to avoid getting slammed by that passive, we can actually use poisons and burns to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, we do have to be careful because we are running War Master on Bot El Khazar and Corvus, so the passive could still be tripped that way. But poisons themselves and poison damage will not trip the passive. Right, so we've got damage mitigation and poisons coming from Venomage. From Corvus here, let's see, he's got 4 poisons with poison sensitivity, which is really good. So 4 poisons with poison sensitivity here on the A3. He's got debuff extension and buff extension on the A2 and decrease attack on the A1. But another reason why this champion is so good is he decreases the damage enemies under poison debuffs inflict by 5% for each poison debuff, stacks up to 25% here on the Curious Drought passive. Now, outside of the 4 poisons, he's also bringing you damage mitigation with the decreased attack and the 25% damage mitigation from the passive there. So Venomage is giving you a 15% damage mitigation, Corvus giving you 25% damage mitigation. That right there stacks up to a 40% damage mitigation. Then we come in with Noct the Paralyzer. Noct the Paralyzer. On the A1, he's bringing decreased accuracy, which is nice. Less chance of placing the freezes. Then attacks all enemies with 2 poisons and a sleep, so he can crowd control the waves. And then on this passive effect here on the A2, places 2 additional poison debuffs for 2 turns whenever a sleep debuff placed by this skill is removed or disappears after an enemy takes damage. Great. Awesome skill there on a 3-turn cooldown, 2 poisons. Love it. And then another reason why this champion is so good is he has ally protection and continuous heal on everyone on a 3-turn cooldown. Both of these are on 3-turn cooldowns, which is very nice. So ally protection is 50% damage mitigation. We've got 40% from Corvus and Venomage combined. Then we have 50% from Noct. That adds up to a 90% damage mitigation from this team, guys. Then on the passive here, heals this champion by 3% of their max HP, and all allies except this champion by 1% of this champion's max HP every time a poison debuff ticks on an enemy. Whenever an ally is attacked while under an ally protection buff, has a 40% chance of placing sleep on the attacker for 1 turn. Great. So he's going to be healing every single time a poison ticks. Of course, we can increase the likelihood of that with Venomage's A1. Guys, that is pretty much the team. What kind of substitutions could you run? I specifically think that you could run a epic in place of Corvus and an epic in place of Bod Elkazar. I have mentioned both of these epics before in other videos, and I have neither of them. But the one that you can run in place of Bod Elkazar is going to be an Oghren Void epic by the name of Urogrim. Now, Urogrim, coming in here, he's got poisons here on the A1, the Skull Staff, and then he basically has Bod El's A2, places 2 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns, also places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. So, 2 poisons with 1 continuous heal, slightly worse than Bod El. But there it is. You can run him in place of Bod Elkazar on this team. And then in place of Corvus, who can you run? Well, you can run Myceliac Priest Ornn. Ornn is a very one-dimensional champion, so a lot of people don't like him for that. But on his A3 here, he attacks all enemies with a books to, I believe that's a 75% chance of placing 2 poisons and poison sensitivity for 2 turns. Heals the champion by 1% of their max HP for each poison debuff placed by this skill. Of course, you can get that up to an 80% chance using the Sniper Mastery. He has poisons on his A1 here, and then he has attacks one enemy 2 times, 100% chance of instantly activating 1 poison debuff on the target. Then his passive, whenever a poison debuff is activated on an enemy, increases the champion's HP and defense by 5%, stacks up to 25%, and resets each round. So he can solo some stuff. He can be used in place of Corvus on this team. There's not really anyone you can use in place of Noct. I would just probably, at that point, if you're running Venomage, Urogrim, and Ornn, I would just use your poison activator if you have one in place of Noct. All right, guys, but then Elva's just gonna keep us alive. That's her job on the squad. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what we've got. My Venomage is +2 empowered. It doesn't really matter. This is going to be the most effective way of farming this stage, guys. It does clear the waves in a pretty decent amount of time. So here we are. Wow, I can't even run Ice Golem. What is going on, Plarium? I don't know, but I don't really like it. This isn't good. Plarium, are there technical bugs or something? I know they did a server maintenance. So is the game just super glitchy after that? This is on my laptop, so on my phone it wasn't like this at all. Man, I don't know what's going on. Okay, wow. This is very glitchy, guys. This is not just the video recording. This is like actually in the game. Ooh, I hope that this does not continue very long. But look, guys, we've got all those poisons here. We don't even need an AI preset because the AI already prioritizes all these poisons. We have so many poisons that our poisoners can't land poisons because we've just filled up the debuff bar that much. Dang. Okay, well, I was going to show this to you, but I guess we maybe can't because, wow, this is crazy glitchy. But anyways, guys, this team will have a 100% clear on Ice Golem Normal 20. Again, you don't want to use HP burns. You want to use poisons. They are far more efficient for these lower stages. For like hard, yeah, absolutely use HP burns because poisons don't work on hard. But for these lower stages, the normal stages, definitely be using poisons. Bring a burner if you want to, but I personally think that it is less effective than just a bunch of AoE poisons. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Felris. Hopefully the game gets fixed, guys. Don't know what's going on here, But I will see you in another video, and I hope that you guys have all the luck that you need to farm Ice Golem. Guys, have a great weekend, or week, rest of your week.